Okay, in this video, I wanted to provide some more information on type-subtype associations. So I'd encourage you to watch that video before you watch this video, Type-Subtype Rules. So in that video, you saw this slide, and this shows the type-subtype associations for the trial balance prototype taxonomy instance document that I created. So this is it right here. So I see this taxonomy tool. It's exactly the same information. Okay. So what I did is I created an Excel application that goes through all the different prototypes that I created, and it pulls the type-subtype relations out of the XBRL definition link base for each prototype. So this is what this shows is that basically, this is I don't know, it took me an hour to create this Excel application that reads the XBRL definition relations, and it reads all the type-subtype associations. So basically, it just shows you how easy it is to understand the type-subtype relations, either in human readable form or in machine readable form. Okay. The reason these are important is because you look here, I have an error in my relations. So basically, everything is supposed to be part of or a type of thing. Okay. You see that this is a stray. It's not associated with anything else in this hierarchy. Okay. What's going on is that there's lack of clarity on what this concept actually represents. This is long-term debt, and then you have some subtypes of long-term debt. So this is actually a combination of this current portion of long-term debt and this, the non-current portion of long-term debt. So there should be some sort of an association that explains in machine readable form this relation between these three concepts. So I want to show you the most complete but still not quite correct set of type-subtype relations that I have is for the IFRS taxonomy. So again, what you can see here is I have all these extended links that have, I think there are like 2,000 or some odd relationships. And someone helped me create this. Actually, they created it and I just modified it. So here are the level 1 text blocks. Here are the level 2, 2 text blocks. Here are the level 3 text blocks. So what's going on is that this text block that has a data type of just text block is associated with this conceptual model concept, which basically says it's like a marker for all the level 3 text blocks. And then this is defined as something that is in the conceptual model. So what this does is it makes it crystal clear whether something is a level 1, level 2, or level 3 text block. Here you have the balance sheet by order of liquidity breakdown. There's all the line items. There's all the line items for equity and liabilities. Here is the non-current assets. I'm saying current, non-current assets, classified balance sheet breakdown. There are all the non-current assets, the current assets, current liabilities, non-current liabilities, and equity. So basically, I have this for all the different breakdowns. This information is not in, is in the IFRS taxonomy, but it's not organized like this in the IFRS taxonomy. I think that a way to help people understand this is that we need kind of like two representations of the taxonomy, one for humans to look at and one for machines to look at. But I contend that this machine-readable version is far easier to look at and use than is the human-readable presentation relations. It's laid out a little bit differently. You know, it takes maybe 5 minutes to explain to somebody how this is laid out, but it's far clearer. But there are some issues. So here, it seems to me that these three concepts should be part of this concept. This is basically net cash flow. And this is net cash flow from operating activities, financing activities, and investing activities. It seems that this belongs in here. This is a different relationship. So this starts to get into something where this becomes problematic. So here are type-subtype relations, but these are actually not type-subtype relations. So this kind of is profit. These are just types of profit, continuing and discontinued. But down here, you have profit before tax, tax expense. This is not a type of profit. And then you have all the other income statement line items. This is something different. I think that these are has part relations, or this is some other representation scheme other than type-subtype. And same for this income statement by nature. Another question I have is, so I have here, let's see, this is a pretty extensive list of concepts, okay? My question is whether it's important to define every taxonomy concept as being a thing. So what I mean by that is there are a lot of concepts that would never be extended, or there are concepts that are they're really more like, well, you know, I'm not going to get into that. But let me show you one other thing before I sign off here. So here is, I showed you this for pulling information out of across all the different representations that I have. Here's one that pulls out information from all the different IFRS associations. So it's running there. You can see it filling up the spreadsheet, and it's going to get about 2,000 different relations. And this may not seem like a big deal, but number one, it's not hard to understand how to write code, although there are some problems with my code. I'm not a programmer, but I can program a little bit. So there are like 2,000 some odd line items. But if a computer can grab this information, then the information is explicitly defined. There's no more this trying to figure out whether something is wider or narrower. So here it's pretty straightforward if something is wider or narrower. If you have these associations, and you can change the association from class, subclass to wider, narrower, and it would work the same way. Anyway, I'm going to call that good.